Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with a very exciting video. I know it might seem like I have been gone for a little while, and that is because I missed a regular day of filming. My schedule has been really hectic, but I think that this video is going to be worth it if you guys are on the same page as I am when it comes to dupes. And I feel like you cannot go wrong with dupes. I love dupes so much, but they do take longer to work on, and this video has honestly been in the works for a few weeks now. Before the Kylie Diary palette has even come out, I was working on this. So I do want to mention a couple things before I share my dupes with you, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking. One, I am not going to be reviewing the Kylie Diary on my YouTube channel because, well, for a couple reasons. One being you guys can't get this anymore, so I kind of feel like there's no real point in me telling you my opinion on this palette over here and showing a whole video to some people who might be disappointed that they can't get their hands on it. And two, I am going to review this over on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, within a few days, I am going to reveal my feelings about this palette. Just this palette, but this video is going to be a dupe video of all 9 of the eyeshadows in this palette. I haven't touched the blushes, to be completely honest with you. I'm not really interested in them, but that's just me. So if you guys are interested in the eyeshadows and you didn't pick this palette up, or you're just interested in seeing some alternatives, then this video will be for you. Now, another thing I did want to mention before anyone rips my head off, a couple of these dupes are not exact. In my mind, a dupe is just an alternative, and in my humble opinion, the dupes that I have chosen for every single shade in here I like better than the actual eyeshadow in this palette. So say a couple shades are a little bit more glittery, they're a little bit more shiny, they also are more pigmented. They're not exact dupes for the shades in here, but they are better alternatives in my opinion. So I definitely have some dead-on dupes, but I also have some similar shades or just alternatives that you guys can hop on and purchase if you guys are interested in, say, maybe 1 or 2 shades in here, but you didn't want the whole thing. That's what this video is for. I feel like most of you guys know what the purpose of a dupe video is, so I will stop rambling and I will get on to talking about each of the dupes that I picked for these eyeshadows. So I talked about this in my BoxyCharm video. This is what I was referring to with the little Z palette that came in my BoxyCharm. I put some of my dupes in here. I did want to fill this up and have it be an exact replica or dupe of the Kylie Diary, but a few of the dupes that I did find are actually Colourpop Super Shock shadows, so they can't really be popped in here. But just so you guys know, all of the eyeshadows that I picked are single shadows, so you don't have to go out and buy an eyeshadow palette or anything if you guys are interested in these dupes, and most of them are $5. And the highest they go up is $10, and that is just for one bomb-ass shade. So keep that in mind. They are very affordable as well. So how I chose my dupes was I looked at this palette on the Kylie Cosmetics Instagram, and I actually looked at the descriptions because I chose some of my dupes before I even received this. I did have to alter them once I got it because some of them were not exact. But I read the descriptions and I just paired up the eyeshadows that fit the description. So this first shadow in the palette right here is called Bay, and this is an icy lavender color. It's kind of like an icy purple color, but this top row is all very chunky and glittery. So I wanted something that was very shiny, very vibrant, and this actually paired up very nicely, but I feel like my dupe is actually better because it is a foiled shadow from MAKEUPGEEK. I chose the shadow Daydreamer. I actually had to wait for this to come back into stock. Hopefully it is when I do this video, but the shadow Daydreamer is a foiled shadow from MAKEUPGEEK. This is the most expensive shadow out of all of the dupes because the foiled shadows from MAKEUPGEEK are $10, but I will be leaving all the information for all of these down below in case you want to shop them when you're done watching. But this is an amazing, vibrant shadow, and something I forgot to mention is all of the shadows on my eyes today are the dupes. They are not the Kylie palette, just dupes. So I love this. It's very vibrant, very pigmented, and I like it better than the Kylie shadow because the Kylie shadow is chunky and glittery. Even though this has glittery properties to it, I feel like it applies better on the eyes. So I love this one. I think it's a little bit better of an alternative. It's just a little bit more vibrant on the eyes, but they are very, very similar when you compare them on your eyes. I just accidentally took the biggest chunk out of Daydreamer. I'm so sad. Why? Why? Nails. Why do you have to do this to me? So the next shadow in the Kylie Diary is the shade Heartbreaker. It's this light pink bubblegum shimmery color. Again, this color has some chunky glitter in it. So the dupe that I found is a shimmery sheen type of shade, but it's not glittery. So that's the only difference between those two really. And the Kylie one might be a little bit darker. So the shade that I chose is actually from a brand called Itssé. I talked about this brand once before. They have a lot of single shadows to offer, and I believe that they are $7.99. If I am wrong, I will put it in the description box. But the shade that I chose is called Les Macarons. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Macarons? I don't know. I will leave the name down in the description, but this is, again, a bubblegum pink. It's shimmery. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not as glittery as the Kylie shadow. But this was the closest one that I could find in my collection. Like I said, it was very hard to find a dupe for this one. I did order a few shadows for this one, hoping that they were close to the description, but they weren't. So this was the closest one in my collection, and I think that it worked out perfectly. So next up in the palette is this lavender color right here called Make Me Blush. Now I did base my decision off of the description once again with this shade. So the dupe that I'm about to show you is actually the least similar dupe out of this video, and I realized that after I swatched them in very bright lighting. But when you're in regular lighting, they honestly look very, very similar when swatched. And again, the dupe that I chose, I feel is more vibrant and it just has more life to it. This is a very chunky shadow, and even though it's beautiful, I still prefer my dupe. But my dupe has a lot of golden glitter in it, and while this one does have a little bit of a golden sheen, it's nowhere near as much as my dupe. So I just wanted to let you guys know. This one is probably the farthest from a dupe in this video, but I still love it anyways. So for this, I chose the Super Shock Shadow from Colourpop in the shade Prickly Pear. This one definitely is a golden lavender, and it's very, very beautiful. I'm glad that I picked this up regardless of if it's a real dupe or not, because I used this on my eyes today and it's absolutely stunning. So you guys will see in the swatch, it's just a beautiful glittery golden lavender color. So I really, really like this one, even though it's not dead on. And again, I just like it a little bit better. Even though this one is very beautiful, I feel like this one just has more vibrancy to it. So next up is the shade Sweet Like Candy. It's this rose gold color right here in the Kylie palette. Now this one, honestly, in person is a dead-on dupe. On camera, the Kylie one looks a little bit darker than the one that I chose, but in real life, they are dead on. They are an extreme dupe match, so I'm very happy with this one. And I feel like if you guys are drawn to the rose gold, if that's one of the shades that you guys wanted, you're really going to love the dupe because you can just skip out and get the dupe for yourselves. Now the dupe is one of the Colourpop pressed shadows. I talked about this in a previous video. I swatched a bunch of the Colourpop pressed eyeshadows, but this is the shade Come and Get It. It's a beautiful golden rose color, so this is a dead-on match in my opinion. They're very, very close. If anything, the Kylie is just a little bit darker, but this is beautiful. They're both very pigmented. They're both very good quality eyeshadows, so I feel like this is a very, very close dupe. Now next up in the palette is the very vibrant hot pink color. This is called Love Potion, and this is definitely one of the colors that I'm sure grabbed the attention of a bunch of people. It's like one of those Jeffree Star kind of pink color. It's a very bold statement color, so I was wondering how this was going to end up performing, and the Kylie shadow is actually very good, but I expected, again, a little bit more vibrancy, a little bit more pigmentation from the shade, and I expected it to be a little bit more shimmery, but it's kind of like a satin matte color. It's not as bold, vibrant, and shimmery that I thought it was going to be. So I have another dupe for you guys that I think is a better alternative. This color is a cool tone pink, so I chose a cool tone pink to show you guys that's a little bit more vibrant and shimmery. So I picked up a pigment from Colourpop. This is called Slave to Pink. Now this is definitely not a matte shadow. So if you guys want the Kylie palette for the matte pink, I would have to dive into my collection a little bit more because I don't have a lot of hot pink eyeshadows, especially that are matte. So I chose a shimmery, very vibrant hot pink color because to me, when I saw this color, I thought statement color all over the lid, very, very vibrant. I didn't really think matte in the crease, but that's just me. So I chose this color from Colourpop because it's very vibrant and beautiful. I don't know why I didn't have this in my collection before because it's very cool. I like it. And Colourpop is just so affordable, you really can't beat it. So maybe if that color grabbed out to you, you could pick this up and you would be happy with that. So moving on to a matte coral, the color Be Mine right here in the Kylie palette is a very beautiful matte coral color. It's kind of peachy. It reminds me of the colors in the peach palette, but it's a little bit different. And this is another pretty dead-on dupe that I found for you guys. This is another pressed eyeshadow from Colourpop. This is kind of one of the reasons why I had to wait to film this video is because this was part of the Valentine's Day collection and they just re-released the Valentine's Day collection as single eyeshadows. So now you guys can pick this up if you are interested in it. So as you will see, Flower Boy and the Kylie shadow were very, very similar. There's just a very slight color tone difference in there, but honestly on the eyes, it's something that you wouldn't really recognize. So I think again, this is a very good dupe. And honestly, I really like the way that the Colourpop shadows swatched on my arm. They swatched a little bit less patchy and a little bit more smooth. So I really appreciate the formula and the price of the Colourpop pressed eyeshadows. So next up, we have the shade Heart Eyes, and this is a matte maroon kind of plum color, and I found one that is very, very similar. It's not dead on. So the dupe that I found is a little bit more purple and more plum than the Kylie shade, but again, on the eyes, this is something that you really will not notice. So it's still a very good dupe, and again, I like the quality better of the Colourpop one. This is a Colourpop pressed shadow in the shade Going Steady. It's another one out of the Valentine's Day collection. This is very beautiful. I actually don't own many shades like these. They're very, very similar as you can see. So I'm really happy with this dupe as well, and I really like this color. I feel like this is one of those unique shades out of the Kylie palette that you guys might have been interested in, and I'm really glad that Colourpop has so many alternatives. They might even have more because they released a bunch of new shades, so I'm really impatient and wanted to get this up for you guys, but they might even have more dupes for this palette in the later collection of the pressed shadows. So next up, we have the shade Romance. This is the bottom middle shade out of the Kylie palette. This one was another very difficult dupe, but I feel like I did a pretty good job. This is a shimmery color. This is a cranberry golden brown, and that's very unique, so I'm glad that I did find something for this. And this dupe that I found is actually another Super Shock shadow, so I really like this one. This is in the shade Stereo. I've had this in my collection for a very long time. It's beautiful, it's a unique color, but it is very, very similar to the Kylie shade. So if you guys are interested in that cranberry color and you think it's very unique, it's kind of like that dark cherry eyeshadow look, I feel like this would really do it for you and you wouldn't really have to go purchase the entire palette. So last up in the eyeshadows for the Kylie palette, we have Loves Me Not. This is a matte lavender. It's almost gray, but it has purple tones in it. So again, I found a Colourpop shadow that corresponds really well with this one. So the Colourpop shadow that I found is called Silver Lining. This, again, is a little bit more pigmented, and the differences are that this is a little bit more purple and a little bit less gray, which I think suits Valentine's Day perfectly, and I kind of like it a little bit better than the option that's actually in the Kylie palette, but that's just me. Again, they are very, very similar, and on the eyes, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference all that much. So this is another very good dupe, and I feel like these Colourpop shadows are something you don't want to sleep on because the quality is just amazing, and you really do not have to be buying very expensive eyeshadows when you have these on the market because they're really, really good, you guys, and I'm very impressed with them. So that was the last dupe that I have for you guys. So that's actually it for my dupes of the Kylie Diary eyeshadows. I really hope that you guys appreciate why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this because I hate Kylie shadows. I'm doing this because you guys can't get this anymore, and a lot of people didn't get it, or couldn't afford it or only were interested in a couple shades. So that's why I'm putting out dupes for you guys. I hope that you guys liked the dupes. I am such a huge fan of them. My eyes today are completely dupes for this palette and I'm very, very happy with them. I feel like the pigmentation overall of the dupes is a lot better than the pigmentation out of this palette. But like I said, I will be reviewing this over on Instagram if you want my full thoughts on this palette, because honestly, I'm not too impressed with Kylie eyeshadows and I don't think that I should be buying them to review them for you guys, because once they launch, they're pretty much gone except for the permanent line, and I don't want to bash something that I know I don't really like. So if I am going to be picking up more eyeshadows in the future, I probably will be picking them up for dupe purposes, and I hope that you guys like that and respect that. I do my videos for you guys. I got a lot of criticism on my peach palette video asking me why I bought it, if I didn't think it was a complete palette, etc. And I bought it to review for you guys. I want to give my opinion to you so that you could potentially either save money, or if you like it, you can buy it. So I don't think I need to really explain that, but I love dupes. I hope that you guys do too. If you want me to do more dupe videos, then please give this video a thumbs up. They're one of my favorite videos to do, but they do take a lot of work, so if you do want to see them, please let me know and I will continue to do them. And if you have any other products that you want me to try to dupe, leave me a comment below and I'll see how many requests I get, and I can possibly do a series out of this and start duping a ton of high-end products for you guys, or limited edition, anything like that. I'd be happy to try this out because this was really fun, and even though it took a lot of work, I really enjoy this work, so I'd be happy to dupe other products in the future for you guys. So all of the information on the dupes that I mentioned will be in the description box if you guys are interested. I'm pretty sure that they're all in stock, but if they're not, they probably will come back, so keep an eye out for that. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys want to see more videos like this and more videos from me, I would love to have you, and hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Bye.